Action. Hey, everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. Me, Adam Hunter, here with Ween Dog. We got Shang. I think Vinc Pichel is coming in. We got Don Frye back.
Oh, God. Are you serious?
Yes. As well as Sean McCorkle. It's going to be a great show. I want to thank Speedweed. Listen, marijuana is legal in California. Get it delivered right to you. Speedweed.com. Great people. They have THC sex lube. They have all kinds of good stuff, edibles. Check it out, speedweed.com. Shang, we actually have Shang Frye as well. Shang Frye is going to be joining us as well. It's going to be a great show. Man, I'm happy to be seeing you guys. I was supposed to have a show yesterday, but my daughter got sick. She had 104 temperature. So
Jeez.
We were in the doctor. Okay? Yeah, I mean, especially now, it's like you don't even know if you want to bring your kid to a doctor right now because at a hospital, like urgent care, you can even get more sick when you get there.
Right. No, I've been there, yeah.
So we all got tested for COVID. None of us have it. Her fever's back down to 100, which is good. I mean, we want to get it to obviously 98.6, but yeah, scary time.
Oh, you keep saying, the things you're saying, I go, yeah, I get it. I've been there.
And then we called the doctor, and then the doctor, like, FaceTimes with us, and then she starts like dancing and singing and going old McDonald how to farm, and then call the doctor grandma. The doctor was like 30 years old. She's like, grandma? Like, I'm like, so now she's all worried about how she looks. It's just, and then she keeps like,
as long as she's okay, man. At the end of the day, fuck that. As long as she's okay.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. So I've been doing nothing but hanging out with my daughter all day long, all night long. Canceled shows, obviously. But it was, which has been fun, but oh my God, talk about exhausting. I mean, my kid just, it's crazy. And then we have a bunny now. I told you we went to the park, and the bunny came home, and I called my wife. I'm like, hey, we got a bunny. She loves bunnies. She said, oh, I'll go to the store. I know just what to get. $500 later. And then,
that's what a bunny costs.
We're wanting the bunny. I'm like swindled. So that's, but the bunny's super cute. The bunny's been kissing my other animals. Like she goes to kiss my dog. She smells my cat's butt. It's a whole orgy going on.
It's kind of a freak bunny. You got a freaky bunny. No, my son has to get a tonsillectomy. Xavier has to get a tonsillectomy, and he has sleep apnea. So he has to get his stuff done. He's getting that done. So because I'm getting tested again Friday, I can't be at the hospital.
Oh my God.
Because at that time they're really vulnerable.
Yeah.
After surgery, you're really vulnerable, so I can't even be there. So I know what you mean, but that's a high fever, man. We were flipping out, and plus we had it at night, so there's not even anywhere she can go. And then her mom was supposed to come this week, and her mom comes. I mean, my wife's mom comes, and to watch the baby. The grandma helps and then that got canceled. So now I'm just like having to like figure out how to do a podcast with a kid. So luckily my wife's off for an hour, so she's watching the kid. It's like trying to juggle your career and comedy and then juggle your life. And then you throw a pandemic on it. And then you throw like, can't leave the house. Then you throw a fever on it. Then you're also, wondering how you're going to make any money. I had my gigs in August got canceled too. I was supposed to. They just emailed me Levity canceled, Comedy Loft in DC canceled. And then I was supposed to do the Funny Bone, all of them.
Everything. So now I'm like wondering how I'm going to make it. It's just crazy. I mean, look, you got.
You're a good-looking kid, Adam. Stripping.
Yeah. I've kind of went down that road.
Ween already did. Ween's done stripping.
How are you doing, man? What's going on with you?
I'm good, dude. I'm actually working on some clips for the YouTube channel for MMA Roasted.
Nice.
So I'm exporting the old Colby call from a couple weeks ago. We're going to upload that, and I'm working on some other stuff. So hopefully we're going to do an increase in quality of the channel, hopefully get some more subscribers, some viewers, and then we'll get some good paychecks coming from Google.
Nice.
But you know what you should do? You should definitely do a cross-promotion. Well, I know how to do that. I've done pretty well with it, financially at least. There's a way you can do it to promote it. I can give you some tips, Ween. And it really works.
Please do. That'd be awesome.
Please.
Yeah. And plus, me and Adam had texted each other. That last one was fucking nuts.
Yes.
With Frye on there just talking about what he feels. I love Trump. I'd kiss Trump in the mouth if he was a woman. That's what and headbutting the virus and I would get the virus in a fucking chokehold and tell him just submit it. It's kind of it was a crazy fucking.
That was a great episode.
So, but no, I mean, even our opinion on the fights, I was surprised how much me and you agreed across the board. I was like, I usually don't agree with Adam. But no, you were right on something. I was just watching the Masvidal was talking about how disappointed he was in himself. And I was like, dude, he's still getting kind of good for 6 days. I still give him props. He didn't win, but I still think he did pretty well for that short.
Oh, he did great. And he actually had the perfect game plan of like, just throw crazy haymakers in the first and try to get him out. And then, look, unfortunately, he didn't have a plan B, but he didn't have time to really generate a plan B. Now, we talked about Colby. So Colby posted a contract that he signed to fight Tyron Woodley in August. According to Tyron Woodley, he wanted to fight Colby 6 times. Colby said no. He said, I'll fight him in an old age home. I'll fight him for the rest of my life, but not in August because I need to put a reset button. And I think that's actually a smart move for Tyron because, look, Tyron needs a win. You can't lose 3 in a row. He lost 2 in a row. And if he's not really, up to fight Colby, there's no reason he should fight Colby. At the same time, it's not a good look for Tyron, especially when a guy posts a signed contract and then you say, no, I don't want to fight. It's like, ooh.
I don't think Tyron's afraid of him. I think Tyron got some other shit going on. And I think that he would be a good fight. And I think that power-wise, Colby would be in trouble. He'd be in trouble. Because I think that just like Usman, I think Tyron is a powerful fucking fighter.
He's got more power than Usman. The problem is cardio.
That's the same thing that happened with Masvidal. He said he started getting tired faster because he's like, I didn't get enough, time. And so his gas tank. But I'm telling you right now, man, I rewatched the fight with Tyron, and man, when he hits you, your fucking body just looks like it's like your spirit goes out of you. So, I mean, what he did to Robbie Lawler was fucking
What he did to Robbie Lawler, what he did to Josh Koscheck, what he did to Jay Haran. I mean, Tyron Woodley has laid a lot of people out. But unfortunately, it's a blessing and a curse. These guys, they have such good power. All of a sudden, they forget what got them there. Tyron Woodley was an All-American wrestler. I think a 2-time All-American wrestler. He obviously has a good gas tank, but he started relying on that one-hitter quitter, and then he forgot about everything else. And look, Dan Henderson, put him in that boat. You put guys all of a sudden when wrestling, Chad Mendez, when guys start noticing like, shit, I could just stop the fight in 30 seconds and not have to, run 20 miles a day and get my cardio up. Unfortunately, that is that's a dangerous game to play if you don't land that punch.
Right. But I think, no, I don't think he has. If they fight in August, which they probably won't.
Not.
If you fight in August, I'm telling you right now, I think that Colby would be in trouble if it goes past 2 rounds.
Colby would?
No, I'm sorry. Tyron would be in trouble if it goes past 2 rounds. But if he initially starts knocking his head, I don't think he could take that kind of power. I don't think.
Nobody could take that kind of power. There's not a fighter out there that could take the power of Tyron Woodley if he lands. But
if he lands.
Also, the problem in the last fight was he wasn't even setting up the right. He was just throwing the right. There was no jab in front of it. There was no double jab. There was no jab to the body. There was no feint. It was just right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand. And, these guys were the top fighters in the world. You can't just throw a right hand.
Right. Oh, no. I mean, and so the fight, okay, I was going to ask you, since I know I was doing it today, is there any fights that you're looking forward to? I already got my 2 fights that, other than Cormier,
before we get to that, let's talk about the fights that actually happened last week, okay? So Kanye West versus bipolarism. Shang, as a black man in America, what's going on with Kanye West?
Obviously, he's been eating a lot of paint chips. That motherfucker is crazy as cat shit. It's like Harriet Tubman used to play basketball behind my house. He's just making shit up. He's just making shit up. He's out of his fucking mind. And but you know what? I'm gonna vote for him.
What does he want from Harriet Tubman? Like,
what was that? He was just obviously he was babbling. It was psychobabble. Fucking, he's not taking his medication, and that's what happened. And because he has hit songs, people fucking like him. That's it.
But I've not taken my medication before, and I didn't talk about Harriet Tubman.
That's true.
Not freeing the slaves. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think he's like, because he's part genius. So when it comes to music, he's a genius. But it just seems like everything else, it seems like it happens a lot of times in America where somebody's really good at one thing and then everyone expects to be good at something else and they're just not. Like Ben Carson or,
Right. I'm brain surgeon, but can't handle basic shit. Yeah. Like,
right. So, all right. So
no, I think that he's obviously, they need to wrap him up with a straitjacket. To me, he's a fucking Looney Tune.
So Joseph Benavidez, right, versus we'll talk about him for a second. Benavidez versus Deiveson. Now, that fight went how I thought it was going to go. I thought the first fight pretty much showed that at this point, Deiveson is a better fighter than Joseph Benavidez. At one point, Benavidez was a much better fighter, but it's kind of too late in the game. And I didn't even think that first fight really, merited a second fight. But okay, fine. The headbutt did change.
But Benavidez, no, the headbutt did matter. It
didn't matter, but it seemed like the other guy was doing better anyway. Now, what scares me about this fight is Benavidez afterwards said, look, that's not me. That's not how I fight in there. I'm better than that. I got to have another fight to prove I'm better than that. I know I'm not going to make a title run. I know I'm a lot of fights away. I know I'm not going to win 8 in a row, but I can't go out like that. It seems like when fighters fight their last fight or two because they want to win, it never goes well because now we're fighting on ego and pride and not really, and you have to assume that someone's just going to find someone that's going to take a loss so you can win. Now, there have been times where people have went out on a win and everyone's excited and yay. But there's that, Uriah Faber, where his last fight did not go well. BJ Penn.
But Uriah Faber did still, I mean, he got clocked a lot, but
he did okay against. But the problem is that when you win that last fight, you still think you have something in you. And if you lose, like Michael Bisping, when he lost to GSP, was like, I can't go out like that. I'm better than that. Then he fights Kelvin Gastelum on like 3 weeks' notice and gets laid out by Kelvin. It's like, So my fear is that you're not fighting for the right reasons. It's ego and it's pride, and it's a dangerous game to play because it doesn't necessarily work out for you. Now, granted, there have been times where Ross Pearson, I think his last fight, he went out on a win. Or I think it was the other guy from that little guy from England that like Brad Pickett went out on a win. So there are times where like guys know it's their last fight and they go on a win. But that's tough. First of all,
you think Benavidez was just delusional?
I think it's a wrap on Benavidez. And
oh wow.
I know there are guys he can beat, but the problem is that he's so good. He's so good that he's gonna be in the top 5. Now all of a sudden it's like you're gonna have to bring in somebody and they're not gonna be like, they're gonna go out there to fucking kill Benavidez. Some young lion that wants to make a
name. That wants to make a name and said I fucked up Benavidez. Right. I know. I just think that some of them, they fight past their prime, and somebody should pull them to the side, or Dana White. But Dana White likes Benavidez. But Dana White should be like, dude, that's it. He should have did that with Chuck. He should have did that with Chuck Liddell. I think.
And with BJ Penn, they should be doing it with Diego Sanchez. There's a lot of guys out there that they should be doing it with. Or you match him up with a guy who's also looking for a last hurrah. But I don't know if there are many guys out there that are 125 that can fall into that category.
There's none.
For example, like this week, Shogun is fighting Little Nog. Now, those are 2 guys that are on their way out, way past their prime, but at least they're fighting each other. So
right. It's two guys that are going past their prime, not one guy and Young Lion.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there are times the Young Lion loses. I mean, Crone Gracie versus Cub Swanson's comes to mind. There are times that like the old guy says, fuck it. He musters in that last thing. But I don't know. I mean, it's just.
Don't you think there's fighters that are still really good and they just might have got caught? Like I thought that there was.
It seemed like Benavidez got clipped behind the ear.
McGregor, huh?
It seemed like Benavidez got clipped behind the ear, knocked his equilibrium off, and that set the whole fight off. So it did seem like he never recovered from that first shot.
Right.
But the problem is the weight division, is that there aren't that many guys at 125, and they cut half the fucking division for some reason. I mean, There are a lot of guys that I don't even know why they got cut. A guy like
they didn't generate as much excitement. That's the truth. Other than Mighty Mouse, in the lighter weight divisions, in which he was a monster, and he didn't.
I know. But
nobody gave a fuck.
I'm going to show you the rankings really quick. I can pull up the rankings. I have them right here.
Here's the issue, though, is that yeah, okay, show me the rankings, because there's probably a fight in there for Benavidez that I would go, all right, that's a good fight.
The screen sharing is disabled right now, Adam.
Oh, okay. What was that, Shane?
I think he should retire. I think he should just coach.
I think so, too. I just don't – I think he's proved enough. He's obviously made a lot of money. He's a great fighter. He's one of the best ever in that division. He's got nothing to prove. I understand not wanting to go out without a loss. But, look, there are times when I bomb on stage where I'm like, I got to get back on stage. I can't go out like that. Right. Now, usually those sets are not great, the following set, because it's like pride, ego. I'm looking for results. I'm not looking for the process. At the same time, I'm also getting knocked. I'm not getting the shit knocked out of me.
Right.
Possibly fucking, brain damage. All right, so 125, right?
Yeah, they haven't updated the photo yet, but this is it right here.
That Marrero fight's a bad fight for him. He's another young lion. I don't even know who Alex Pantoja is.
He just fought on this card. He lost to that Russian dude.
Right, yeah, he got his ass. Alex Perez would be good.
Alex Perez is too young. All these guys are in their prime or young.
Alex Perez is young, but I think Alex Perez would still be a good fight.
I would say Formiga is the best fight for him.
No,
I think he beat Formiga, right? Or maybe even Tim Elliott would be a good fight for him. Matt Schnell. Yeah, I mean, the problem is none of these guys are really high-name guys. I mean, Jordan Espinoza could walk into any Starbucks and no one knew who he is. Same with David Drovic. There's not a – Benavidez is the highest-profile guy in this division. I mean, he's the only –
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but, I just think that again, I don't want to shit on his, parade, but I just feel like he's already done enough. You're good, dude. You made a mark in the fighting game. Everybody knows you. People like you. It's time to maybe coach
or commentate or
commentate. Right. He's articulate. He can commentate. To me, that would be the way to go. But some fighters don't see it that way. And I think it's sad. I watched this show on Netflix called Kingdom.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I heard it's really good. I want to see it.
It's really good. It's really good. I watched the whole series, and they have a bunch of fighters in it. Diego Sanchez is in it. He's in it. Yeah. And, it's really good. So, but it's basically about that. It's about that. And Matt Hughes is in it, and there's a lot of UFC fighters in the show, and it makes you realize why they keep doing it, because they're like, I'm a fighter. I can't.
These guys miss the limelight. They miss everything. They miss the success. They miss people giving a fuck about them. And the thing is, everybody that actually meets them is like, when's your next fight? When's your next fight? When's your next fight? And a lot of these guys, their whole existence is based on fighting. And I get it. Even when I wrestled in college, when I've done wrestling, I felt like I had nothing going for me. Everybody that talked to me was like, why aren't you wrestling? I'm back to my old high school. They had a concern meeting about me not wrestling. I understand on a smaller level. If I quit comedy, people be like, when's your next show? I get it. At the same time, if you're not going to go for a title shot and you're not there and you're just going
No, you can't say that because Cowboy is still really popular. I don't think he has a shot at the title. And he's still viable. Even though he's lost bad, actually. I thought Conor housed him. And people could say, oh, that you can't really say. No, Cowboy got fucking housed by Conor.
Of course, he got murdered.
He got murdered to me. So, because a friend of mine's like, no, you can't count Cowboy out. I'm like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You can count Cowboy out because Conor came in with the perfect fucking – he moved just perfectly on him. And Cowboy didn't look like he wanted it. Let's be real with you.
Vince, you with us? Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
so, did you watch the fights last week?
Yes, I did.
All right, Benavidez, right? He says he wants one more fight because he knows he can't go out like that. He knows he's better than that. I think that's a dangerous game to play because, he didn't – now we're like fighting on ego and pride and necessarily not for – and he says, look, I'm not going to win a title. I'm not going to win 8 fights in a row. I just got to get a win. And I feel like a lot of times history has told us that usually doesn't work that way because the guy they put you with is gunning for the win and trying to kill you and yada, yada, yada. Your thoughts?
I honestly kind of agree with Benavidez.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go out like that either. That was a real bad fight for Benavidez. I didn't think he was going to get handled the way he did. I thought Benavidez was going to do a lot better in that fight. I wanted him to win, but I didn't honestly think he was going to win that fight. But I agree with Benavidez. I wouldn't want to go out like that either. And who are we to tell him how to finish his career, or how to even do anything in his career, right? So if he wants to do it, he wants to do it. Like, let him do it. And if it ends up bad, then you mean, like, regardless, good or bad, you got to support the guy. If you like him as a fighter, you got to support him. And that's just the way I see it.
Right. Now, Don Frye, are you shaving right now? Can you guys see Don Frye shaving?
Yeah, I thought he was putting on his Joker makeup for a second. I thought he was getting ready to go on a freaking Joker rampage.
You better not be shaving that fucking mustache. That's all I got to say.
Don you better keep that. You better keep that pussy catcher on your face.
Don, so you called to do a podcast so we can watch you shave? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I thought I'd give you some man lessons, you know. So, apparently,
get you some how to shave like a man.
I can see it. Now, Deiveson said he closed the casket on Benavidez. He goes, I took his soul. That's what he said. Vince, have you ever taken anyone's soul?
And Jaquani's.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I ruined him. After I beat him, he wasn't the same fighter ever again.
So when you take a black guy's soul, do you now have soul yourself? Like, do you like no?
Can you dance?
I don't know if him being black has anything to do with it, but no, I'm a shit dancer. I'm a shit dancer, but I could beat the fuck out of someone, and he's actually not the only person I've done that to. My first professional fight, the guy that I fought was his first fight, and that was his first and only fight. He never fought, but there's a few. I think I want to say there's like 2-3 guys that I've demoralized so bad in the fight that they haven't fought again.
Don Frye, have you ever taken anyone's soul in a fight?
Yeah, I have, and I respect the guy, so I'm not gonna say his name. So, but
oh, come on, tell us who it was. Really now?
You don't want to? He won't say who it is.
Wow, this is the first time you're not gonna.
No, he respects him. He respects him, so he's not gonna say it. But I think when you I've seen people where they've taken a beating and you go, I actually thought that about GSP, but he came back and proved me wrong. I thought he didn't win the last fight before he fought Vince Bank.
Yeah.
I thought he lost that. And people were like, no, did you see his fucking face? He looked like,
I don't feel like he won the fight against Hendricks either. There's a few fights like that, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple fights like that.
Kelvin Gastelum, I thought was looking great. I think he just got caught with an ankle lock. I think that just happens. I don't think that necessarily, but Kelvin apologized. He's embarrassed. He said, I'm sorry. Do you guys think that that's warranted to apologize? I mean, why are you apologizing? You gave it your best. You just got caught.
As you go through such a depression. When you lose, and it's like the whole fucking world is against you, and you feel like God betrayed you. So, you know, you want to apologize to God. You want to apologize to everybody else, you know, because you feel like you failed. You failed your mom and dad, your dog, you know, your horse. You failed everybody.
Did you ever apologize to anybody after a fight?
For what?
For losing?
Nope. The answer is no.
Now, Don, you took a K1 fight. You went into a K1 fight, but you said you never threw a kick before the fight. Why would you go into a kickboxing match never throwing a kick before?
Money, baby, money. That's, you know, the root of all evils.
Hey,
I had to buy my ex-wife. Exactly. I had to buy my ex-wife a new house. I had to buy my ex-wife a new house.
Now, but I mean, at what point did you even like practice kicking at all before the fight?
No, partner. That was after that Takayama fight, you know, and I really felt I retired, and I sat out on the back porch and and drink tequila and smoke cigars, for 6 weeks. But they called me up. I practiced a few times, but nowhere near like I should have. Nowhere near like I should have. That's why, I got embarrassed. He thumped me good. And I deserved every bit of it, man.
I got a question for you, Don. Now, this is a story that I was told by one of my friends, Dominic Cruz. He said that he was actually training with you.
Yeah.
You guys were boxing. And then he said that while you guys were boxing, you threw a head kick at him and kind of rocked him a little bit. And he's like, what the fuck? And you told him, you got to be ready for anything. Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
No. That doesn't sound like me. Come on. Come on. I wear a white hat, buddy. I wear a white hat.
Now, Don, your wrestling team in college, right? It was you. It was, I think, Ken. It was Dan Severn and Randy Couture was on the team too.
No, you're mixing shit up, brother.
Or Mark
Dan Severn. No, Dan Severn was the assistant coach at ASU my first year. And then he got hired by Michigan State and left. And then Couture was when I did my last year over at Oklahoma State. He was on that team.
Did you know that Randy was going to be that good?
Oh, yeah, he was tough. He was dedicated. He was a 21-year-old freshman, because he went in the Navy for 4 years, 4 or 5 years. So.
Wow. Was Mark Kerr on the team also or no?
No.
Did you ever train with Kerr?
I never heard of Mark Kerr. No, never did. Only met him once. That was enough.
Now, I had heard that, like, in Japan, they were all on steroids over in Pride. And they tested you, but they wouldn't give you the results unless you wanted to leave the organization. And then they go, you could leave, but then we're going to release the fact that you failed like 19 steroid tests. Is any of that true?
I don't know. Nobody told me about that one. But it sounded like it could be true. Yeah. It was a different world over there, man. They treated you good, but if they felt like you betrayed them, and stabbed them in the back, then they would return the favor.
Yeah. Did you ever see anybody take steroids in your career?
Never. Only you.
Well, Adam does it every day. So,
of course.
Was there a lot of Japanese whores? Was there a lot of Japanese whores over there? Because that's what I heard. A couple fighters told me, "Oh, the whores over there are just."
I don't know. I was married.
Oh yeah, forget it.
I was married at a couple.
So you never went to Thailand and watched girls shoot ping pongs out of their vaginas or anything?
No. Nah. I think I know a girl who can shoot a fucking bowling ball out, bro.
Who's that?
Nice.
A volleyball, Jesus Christ.
Bowling ball.
A bowling ball.
All right, let's get back on track.
Wayne is like, I have to see that video.
Get back.
I think I already have.
Vince, what do you think of the Kelvin Gastelum fight?
All I could say about it is, where the fuck is his leg lock defense? He looked like he's never been attacked in the legs before, and he's an Eddie Bravo guy. I don't know. Where the fuck was his leg lock defense? The basic defense, he didn't even attempt to do basic defense. So I don't even know what to say about it.
It seemed like he ran a blank on his leg defense, like completely.
Yeah.
To me, at least, I was like, he didn't even try to do anything to stop it, and it just seemed like he just submitted to it. Like, okay, fuck it.
Oh, that dog looks just like Don Frye, by the way.
And I'm not sure if I'm not sure if he didn't respect the other guy's jiu-jitsu or his leg locks or what, but to me it was like what are you doing? Get that fucking foot off your hip, defend it. What are you doing? He fell over and let him leg lock him. So I don't know.
It looked like he just flopped over. Is that?
Adam, leg lock defense. I mean, you're a brown belt, right, or black belt?
Yeah, I'm a brown belt.
Don, you're a black belt. I mean, you drill that hundreds of times in practice, right?
I wouldn't say I drill hundreds of times, but I drill pretty decently. I get my legs attacked a lot. There's a lot of guys that attack me in the legs because I'm pretty hard to submit. So people like upper body, I'm really good against headlock, front headlock chokes and things like that. So people normally attack my legs. I get my legs attacked a lot, so I have a lot of experience defending it. But the basic maneuver is when Kevin was standing up, all he had to do was basically shrug that foot off of his hip with the elbow, and he would have been safe. Then he could have fell over and just kind of, you know what I mean, wiggled his way out of it. But he didn't even do that. He just fell over and let the guy fucking leg lock him. And he's an Eddie Bravo guy. I know those guys are crazy about leg locks. I know he's had his legs attacked so many fucking times. So that's why I'm like, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he did draw a blank. Maybe he didn't respect the guy. In any case, his leg lock defense was not there. You think it was his lack? You think it was his lack of respect for? Maybe it was a lack of respect for the guy, and he didn't respect his jiu-jitsu. That's why he was so lax on the leg defense. It could have been, but when anyone has your leg, when anyone has anything, the first thing you need to do is defend it. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a fucking white belt, right? Like, you can get fucked up by a white belt if you don't defend it with basic technique. And he didn't even show basic technique. He fell over and kind of was like, okay, let go of me now so we can finish fighting. And the guy fucking subbed him. So that's what happened, you know? And I don't know, honestly. Kevin Gastelum was a lot better than that in my eyes. Kevin Gastelum is a very underrated fighter. I feel like he's a very good fighter, and a lot of people don't give him the credit because of weight issues and scale bullshit, you know? But I honestly don't know what to say besides where the fuck was your defense? He had no defense.
Maybe that's why he apologized. Maybe he apologized, Adam, because he felt like he should have put some kind of defense up for it. But to me, I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone about it. I said it looked like he just fucking let it happen. And people were like, oh, you're dissing him. I'm like, no, I'm not dissing him. It really did look like he just went, he got my leg. Okay.
So Don, you're a guy that when you started fighting, you guys wore wrestling shoes. Did you guys know any submission defense? And can you believe how far and how evolved this sport's been?
Oh, yeah, well, you knew submission defense, you big dummy. Hell, it wasn't like this stuff was invented in the last 20 years. Come on.
But did you know leg lock defense?
No. Yeah.
No, because it seems like a lot of those guys like Kevin Jackson, the earlier guys, the wrestlers that came over, had no idea what the Gracies and the Shamrocks were doing.
Well, here's the thing, partner. You know, Kevin Jackson, God bless him, I think he's a stud, but he's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. For one thing, he can't really talk to most wrestlers, you know, and to try and talk to an Olympic gold medalist and tell him, hey, you got holes in your game, he ain't gonna listen to you. He's gonna bitch slap you. You know, you get to that level, you think, you know, you're right hand of God. So there was a lot of things he didn't know existed because he was busy making money in the wrestling world.
Right.
But okay, but let me ask you guys something. When you see someone, a high-level wrestler, go against a high-level jiu-jitsu guy, and there's a lot of stuff that you don't see them do you think that they just don't respect jiu-jitsu?
Absolutely. At first, nobody did, you know. I mean, nobody knew what the hell it was, you know, crime. And still, a lot of people don't respect jiu-jitsu because, you know, it's on Newaza. And they walk in there and they wrap their hands around their neck and then jump up and wrap their legs around the hips, you know. I've only seen girls do that in the drive-in theaters, you know, not men. Shit.
Drive-in theaters.
Judo, you know. Judo, you throw the son of a bitch to the ground, and then you do the Newaza. You don't pull him down.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm just wondering, like, if you, because you were like you were what, UFC 8? You won the Ultimate. So to the fact that like
right.
Where you are to now, I mean, you weren't seeing like, you know, go-go platas, and you weren't even seeing some of these like these crazy those John Jones kicks, or, you know, or like, does it kind of blow your mind as to how much sports evolved?
No, they were there. Just that a lot of people were comfortable in their own game. And, you know, you never saw certain things from the jiu-jitsu guys, and you still don't, because, you know, jiu-jitsu's not I wouldn't even consider it a combat sport, you know, but I guess you would have to, but it's a non-violent combat sport.
Right.
You know?
I call it a lazy man sport.
But a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, you see them when they do their stand-up is suspect, to be real.
Yeah.
No, so, I mean, I see some really, but they don't stand and bang. They don't, because they don't stand and bang.
Depends.
Right. I mean,
Marco,
who else did it? You know, but I don't think Marco was really a jiu-jitsu guy. I think he was a boxer and a kickboxer. You know, and he might have had some skills.
That's why I love watching Ryan Hall fight, because I'm like, Ryan Hall's is doing shit that no one's doing, and it's working. I'm wondering who's going to be the person to kind of figure him out. I know he lost one time, but so okay, let's talk about some of the other stuff. Brett Johns versus Montel Jackson. First of all, Montel Jackson's, I guess his hands are like as big as the heavyweights, which is incredible. And Brett Johns, the kid from Wales, it was a guy who was clearly less talented, but had a better game plan and wanted it more.
Right.
Which was Brett Johns. He was definitely didn't have the more talent, more skill, but was just smarter and about it. You know, sometimes I guess they say it's not who's the better fighter, it's who's the better fighter that night.
Hard work beats talent 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah. Do you don't think a game plan,
like they say in
I think game plan is hard work?
Don, what were you saying?
Like they say in NASCAR, I'd rather be lucky than good.
Vince, Don, did you ever have guys that were clearly more talented than you, but you found ways to beat them?
Yeah.
No. Nobody's ever been more talented.
Who was that for you, Vince?
It was a lot of people, a lot of no-name guys. The guys, like a couple guys that I fought before UFC. Honestly, one of them I would say is probably Njokuani. I feel like Njokuani was a better fighter than me. He was a better striker than me, definitely at the time. He had good takedown defense, but I somehow beat him. Who was the other guy that I'm thinking of? I can't even think of the other guy I was thinking of.
Frye, do you think that Shamrock was more talented than you?
Let me fucking look at that shit, actually.
That's a loaded question.
No. Yeah, really. No, I don't. If he was, he'd be.
That was a loaded question.
Yeah. I love Ken Shamrock, but some of his last couple fights were very suspect. That Kimbo Slice fight was like, that had to have been a work. I'm sorry. That did not.
Absolutely. That's not even a question. That's not even a question.
That was a paycheck.
Well, they locked up in an MMA fight. They went ear to ear. Like, when does that ever happen? Like, when do you go ear to ear in an MMA fight? I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
But do you think that it could be? I think some guys. What do they say? Some people are athletes and some people are fighters.
Yeah.
Right. You've heard that before. So I think that a fighter will be the athlete each time.
Not definitely not each time. But yeah.
I don't know, man. I've seen some guys where their heart is just like, fuck that, I ain't going nowhere, and they just sit there and they sit in the pocket and they bang. And
Darren Elkins is a good example of that.
Oh yeah, that dude. That's a guy that if you ever got like a 10-on-10 brawl, you'd want him on your team.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Like some guys, it's just like they got. Even though Masvidal, I was watching the interview with Masvidal, and he was like, "Man, I'm disappointed," but and I was sitting there going, "No, you still did a good." In my mind, I'm glad he still did a good job. For 6 days' notice is really short to me. I don't give a fuck what they say. Well, no, he's still a fighter. I'm like, 6 days is still short.
Don Frye would fight 4 times in one fucking night.
I know, but still, it's better for you to have a longer training camp. Shut up. You know I'm telling the fucking truth. It's better to have a longer training camp.
It was only 3 times. It was only 3 times a night.
3 times.
Don't get over dramatic.
All right, Vince. All right, so guys, let's talk about Saturday night. This
crazy card.
Saturday, Whittaker versus Till. My personally thing, I think Whittaker is the better fighter. I think he's more skilled. I think he's gonna win. Darren Till once again has that crazy power, but I think Whittaker's got this. Vince.
I'm going Whittaker. I know Till's got power until I think Till might be the better guy standing on the feet, but I think all around Whittaker is a better fighter. I think he's got more skills. He's more diverse as a fighter, and I think he's gonna win.
Frye.
Yeah, I think Whittaker's the best fighter out there right now. You know, that guy's impressive, just plain ass impressive. He reminds me of me.
Even though he lost, even though he got rocked by Israel.
So everybody gets rocked, you know. It's a matter of getting your ass back up and getting back in the fight.
It's true. It's true. I mean, you were rocked for 3 months. You were on fucking bed rest, right?
That's only after listening to you.
Thank you. Now,
you think that Whittaker's gonna win?
Yeah, Whittaker's.
I just Till's no joke, man. Till's no joke, and I think that sometimes if you take a L or even when you win, he just seemed like he got more dog in him. And I don't know. Whittaker seemed like he got a lot of his heart taken out.
Whittaker versus Romero fights?
I know, but he still got a lot of his heart taken out. He got that last fight when he fought Stylebender, he got a lot of his heart taken out.
Stylebender's an awkward fighter. He's one of those guys that's almost impossible to train for it.
And also, Whittaker was going through a lot of shit before that fight too, so I'm pretty sure he was very distracted before that camp. Not really.
So you think? Oh yeah. So his distraction was throwing him off. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going with Till.
He was super depressed, and he said he was like suicidal at one point, or I think going through some shit. Basically, like
mindset. Honestly, to me, is like 90% of the fight. All of us are in shape, but whoever, the mindset to me is more important than getting in shape sometimes. Because we're all in shape as fighters, right?
That level.
Shape.
Yeah.
At the championship level, everybody's the same, you know, in physically and conditioning. So, you know, it comes down to the mental game, you know, and that's generally has a lot to do with conditioning. You know, I mean, like Lombardi said, fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Yep.
But dude, some of your fights, Don, I mean, you were clearly tired. It was later in your career. You had your hands on your hips, and you still came back and knocked the guy out. That was pretty damn cool.
I'm sorry, don't die.
I'm done. I'm Don fucking Frye. What'd you expect?
and that's the fucking truth, bro.
Don, when you were in the hospital, right? I know that it's hard for you to go a day without sex, right? So when you were like 3 months in the hospital, did your girlfriend come over and give you blowjobs at least from the hospital bed?
Okay, that's right there.
You know what, partner?
Yeah.
There's a line of women down the hallway waiting to get there for
me. You had a line of women down the hallway wanting to blow you in the hospital?
Yeah. They were worried about if certain parts of me wouldn't work anymore, so they had to come there to, find it themselves.
It's like the scene from Airplane when they're all in the line to slap that lady.
Have you ever had a line of women that want to blow you, Vince?
I wouldn't say a line, but maybe like a handful.
Maybe a cluster. There's been a cluster.
Maybe one.
But not a line, but a
gang. I do all right.
All right. Speaking of a guy who's doing all right, Sean McCorkle, a guy who beat Mark Hunt in 59 seconds, a guy who trolled his way to the UFC. He was a professional troll on the internet and would post pictures of him and Matt Mitrione next to him and would have Matt on his knees. People thought he was 7'3". The guy went 15-0, made the UFC, beat Mark Hunt, then lost to Stefan Struve and Christian Moorcraft. Went into the KFL or whatever, and tapped the world's strongest man, Marcus Pudzianowski. Then after that, declared himself a resident of Poland and said, "I am now the world's strongest man." Okay, and in the rematch of the fight, they interviewed him, and he said, listen, they said, who's going to win? He goes, depends whose steroids are better. He said this on television. Since then, he's been retired, lives in Indiana, killing the game. McCorkle, how are you, man?
Doing all right. Some people call that slinging dick, the whole killing the game thing. That's what I've heard. But I'm not positive.
He just came right in and said, that's called slinging dick. That's the way you come into it.
Now, Sean, you currently have a GoFundMe account.
Right.
On the internet. Please tell me about this.
Well, I've been getting shamed, man. We went to Florida a couple weeks ago for spring break, and everywhere I went, I just refused to wear a mask, and people were absolutely, like, horrified. I felt like I was at first day Cobra initiation with G.I. Joe, and I was the only Cobra guy not wearing a mask. You know what I mean? That's for old people, that joke is. Anyway, so I go walking to Walmart, and this guy's like, hey, sir, do you have your mask? I said, no, I don't. I just kept walking, went in, and same thing, Best Buy. They refused to help me because I wouldn't wear a mask, like it was really, they were trying to shame me. So people keep telling me on the internet it's about saving lives. It's not about my life. It's about everyone else's life, because apparently a little paper mask that's not designed to do anything saves other people's lives. So, because I'm not worried about my life. If Brendan Schaub can survive it, anybody can. But if I'd rather just get it and get it over with, So anyway, so people on the internet keep telling me you're sending the wrong message out. You're real handsome. You're so funny. You're such a great celebrity. Why aren't you wearing a mask? They don't say any of that. But so they're telling me I need to wear a mask. And so I was like, you know what? If it's that important to you, I'm sure it's that important to 5,000 other people. Let's get them all together to give me $5 a piece. Give me 25 grand. I'll wear a mask. And not only that, I'm going to put Black Lives Matter, like BLM, on the mask. And then that way, if you don't support me, then you're racist also. So you're not only not going to put me out,
two different ways.
You're racist. So
now, okay. So how much money have you raised so far?
It's $25, but 15 of it was from my girlfriend under the name Brendan Schlob, because she thought that would be funny and she wanted to get the ball rolling, get people to donate. So I got $25 already. So we just need 1,000 more people, like 1,000 times that many people to do the same thing, and we'll be good to go. So
people are donating money so you can wear a mask.
Yeah, they have to donate so I wear a mask, because if they don't care about lives. It's only $5. If they want to save lives, just give me $5. You and 4,999 of your friends, and then I'll save lives by wearing a mask. So.
And you also said that you're going to send the money on whatever you want, right?
Yeah. No, half of it will go to some anti-abortion charity, because we have to save lives. So we have to be against abortion if we're saving lives. And then the rest I'll just spend on whatever I want. Probably a ATV or something weird.
Vince, what do you think of this fundraiser?
I think it's actually a really good idea, and I kind of want to start one myself now, because I don't wear a mask. I feel the same fucking way.
I'll tell you what, Vince, I'll donate the first $20 to it if you do.
Don, what do you think of this fundraiser?
I'm getting one too. I'm going one too. I don't have
Wait, Don Frye's on here? He doesn't need a mask. That mustache is protecting. Like I heard the coronavirus wears a mask around Don Frye's mustache.
So, Joe, what do you think of this fundraiser?
I think it's a great way to spread the word of mask wearing and Black Lives Matter and racism. We have a real racist problem in this country, and I think this fundraiser, or I guess all three of these fundraisers now, are a great way to stop this.
We fucking do not.
What the fuck did you just say, dude?
I have no idea what the fuck he said, and I'm sitting right here.
So, Shane, what do you think about this fundraiser, Shane?
I think, hey, if 1,000 more fucking people give you the money and you wear the mask, it's then good for you. Fuck that. In fact, I'm starting to GoFundMe for condoms and masks.
Right.
I want to cover I'll wear a mask and I'll cover my dick up. How about that?
And now,
I just say we wear condoms.
I'll send you $5 for
that.
Now, Sean, didn't you get into a fight the other day in your car?
Yeah. Hey, don't let me forget before I get off here, I got to tell you a quick Don Frye story. But yes, the other day I'm driving down the road, right? And I was in a bad mood. I was having a bad day. Had lost my mask, things like that. So I'm driving, and this lady pulls out to my left. Hard to explain. I'm at a T in the road. I'm getting ready to turn left. There's a hill to my right. This lady doesn't use her turn signal left, almost hits me. Or she has it on, but she doesn't turn. So it threw me off, So I stop. I start to pull forward a little bit, trying to look over this hill to my right. Some hillbilly guy, looks like Carl from Sling Blade, only more retarded, comes flying over the hill, almost hits my car, which technically, I guess legally would have been my fault. but he was going 60 and a 30. You know, it was out of control. So I slammed on my brakes, and I gave him, you know, the nice guy wave, like, man, my bad, I pulled out in front of you. He slams on his brakes, slides about 20 feet, opens his door to get out of his car like he wants to fight, you know, or whatever. So I'm immediately like, yes. Like I was like, you know, like mutual combat. I'm all for it. So I jump out of my car, and I'm just going to go up and punch him right in his face. It would have been awesome if he to kick my ass. I kept thinking about that after because, like, when you fight, you still think you can fight if we don't train anymore. So, like, I wonder if I even can fight anymore. You
didn't train for some of your fights anyway, so.
Don't be a Cody.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't trained the last 2 of them anyway, so. So when he sees I get out, he jumps back in his truck and takes off. Well, of course, I can't just leave things alone. So I follow him for about 15 minutes. And he finally thinks he gets away by going through a red light and turning right and zipping down to the street, but I can see him from real far away. So he pulls in his bank, and I come flying in there and jump out, you know. And first thing I heard is, "I'll tell you what, bitch." Like, that's what I heard. And then as I walked around the car where he could see me, all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, shit." Like, you know, because he could see I was way larger than him. Or that not wearing a mask, maybe. But, no, he jumps back. He was like, "Oh, shit," like that. And I said, "What are you going to do to me?" And he's like, "Well, that was your fault." He just goes on. And he keeps saying stuff. I said, so I start recording him. I'm like, "Will you fight me? I just want to fight you. I want to fight you. Will you fight me? I won't sue you. I won't anything. Do you want to fight?" "Hell no, I don't want to fight." And I said, "What are you talking shit for then?" You know what I mean? Like, what are you still running your mouth for? So we're going back and forth. So at some point he takes off his sunglasses to try to show me he's serious, you know? And goes to set him down in his car, and they drop on the ground. And so by this time, a security guard has come out of the bank, and this manager lady has come out. And they're like, "Guys, can you please just take this somewhere else?" And I'm saying, "I just want to fight him real quick. Can I just fight him on your parking lot real fast?" I was being real nice, you know? I said, "I just want to punch him in the face real fast, and then I'll be out of your way, and you guys can go back to work." And this guy's like, he's getting tough because they're out there now. So anyway, all that to say, he reaches down to get his sunglasses, right? And he got a little too close to me when he was doing that. And I said, "Dude," I said, "you better back up a little bit right now." So you better back up, I'm telling you right now. As he goes, "I'm getting my sunglasses." He goes, "What do you think?" He said, "You think I'm trying to do something?" I said, "No." And I couldn't think of anything at this point. I was mad, but I couldn't hit him because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want another Jesse Parsley situation, right?
Right.
So I can't hit him first. He's not going to hit me. So I said, "No." I said, "I don't want to catch your coronavirus, you piece of shit." And I was like, "Look at you, not wearing a mask out here in public," and I'm not wearing one, keep in mind. But I start berating him for not wearing a mask in front of the 2 people, you know, the security guard and the other people. I said, "Going out here to the bank and infecting everybody. What a piece of shit." And he's like, "I've got a mask. I've got a mask in the car." And I said, "You aren't wearing it?" And I said, "You're trying to infect me. You're trying to infect me." Right? And I just start really just going off on about not wearing a mask. I was like, "What kind of lowlife goes out in public and doesn't wear a mask?" And so he was like, "I wear the mask." Like he was real offended, you know, I was saying this. So he had this weird Harley Davidson shirt with a pig on it or whatever. And I'm like, "Dude," I said, "Look at you." I said, "You're such a piece of shit." I said, "Not wearing a mask." I said, "Look at your shirt." So that's the gayest shirt I've ever seen. And as I turn around to walk to my car, I see I have an Uncle Drew shirt on, like a cartoonist uncle. Like I have even more gay shirt that he's got on. And I'm berating his shirt, you know, like, "Your shirt's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life." And I turn and I see a reflection of myself wearing the Uncle Drew shirt. So it was, it actually made me start laughing. And then he said, it was funny because he said, at one point he goes, "What if I'm some crazy person?" He goes, "What if I was some crazy dude with a gun?" And I said, "What if I am?" And he kind of stopped and he thought about it. And I said, "I have my Glock in my car." I said, "If you pull a gun, I'd shot you right in your face." And then he was like, "Oh, no." And I said, "What do you think, your mask going to protect you?" "Oh, you don't wear a mask." "That's right." And I just kept going on about the mask.
Oh,
so
my God.
It was great.
Do you have any? Do you have any jokes this week for us?
No, but I have a Don Frye story.
Oh, okay.
I thought that mask fight story would be enough, Adam.
It was great.
I'm not like a comedy savant like Brendan Schaub, where I can just hit a time after like punchline after punchline. Like, "What the fuck? What about R. Kelly? What the fuck? What about Michael Jackson? What the fuck?" That's his punchline every time. So, anyway, my Don Frye story. So I was fighting for some promotion. What happened?
That was Brendan Schaub that you showed? I thought he was bigger.
Anyway, so Don Frye was like my hero. He didn't know this. He was like one of my heroes. I mean, I wasn't growing up watching UFC. I was like probably 18, 19 when I first came out, so showing my age. But Don Frye was always my favorite fighter, man. I thought he was the manliest man of all time. And the first time I met Don, I said, "Don, man, I was fighting some promotion in Texas."
All right.
You remember Don? I was fighting some promotion in Texas, and Don was the commentator, and he was there at every pre-fight thing. They had this promotion, man. They had us out there like 4 different times before the fight, like for weeks. We'd go out and promote and do stuff. So they were paying pretty well. It was an upstart promotion. I don't even remember the name now. They were one and done. But so first time I met Don, I was like, man, your mustache is awesome. He goes, oh, is it there? I just shaved it off an hour ago, which cracked me up. You know? I thought he goes, I just shaved an hour ago. Is it back? And he was telling me about how Russians are the only real men. And then Don had a couple of beers, and he was arguing with Carl Parisian, who was another guy that was like a legend to me. Carl Parisian, they were arguing about the first UFCs, and Carl was on something. I don't know what, but it was like a great conversation. So all week, I'm like I'm starry-eyed. Like, man, I can't believe I'm hanging out with Don Frye. He's like the coolest dude ever. Like, him and Boss Rutan are the two manliest men I've ever met in my life. Like, everything I aspire to be, right? So I come out for the fight, and I'm in there fighting this dude who shouldn't be beating me, but he is, because I couldn't really train. I'd hurt my back real bad. That was the first fight I hurt my back real bad, like 3 weeks out, and I couldn't do anything. So I'm killing him, like, in the first round. But after about probably 2 minutes of the first round, the guy ends up leg kicking me, and it was okay. It wasn't great. It was a decent leg kick. And I hear Don commentating from 3 feet away from me, and Don's like, man, if he takes another one of those, he's probably done. He looks gassed. And, like, I realized he was talking about me, like, and my feelings were just destroyed, because here I am, like, in a fight in front of a hero. I hit with the first shot I've been hit with all fight, because I was just mauling the guy at first. And then Don's like, he probably can't take more than that. And he goes, yeah, McCorkle's a big boy. He looks exhausted. And, and the more he talked about how tired I was during the fight, the more tired I got. Like, I was sitting there, like, it started, like, affecting me mentally. I was like, man, I look that tired. Like, Don must be right, you know? And so I ended up losing the fight. It was terrible. First time I lost outside UFC ever. I was, like, brokenhearted. So after the fight, I'm talking to Don, and I'm trying to come up. You know, after you lose.
Me too. I lost $1,000. I lost $1,000.
It was your encouragement that was the what kept me going, though, Don. Oh, he also told me that Don says in the pre-fight thing, because I made jokes about how much Indiana sucks. And then Don's saying in the pre-fight walk as I'm coming in, Don's like, I'll tell you what, that's Indiana's favorite son. All week he talked about how much Indiana sucks, how ugly everybody is there, how much everybody in Indiana sucks. And I started getting, like, hateful stuff, like, sent to me that night. Like, oh, Don Frye said we suck. Like, everybody's like, fuck Sean McCorkle. He hates Indiana. Like, my Facebook page was, like, blown up. So that was another one. But after the fight, I'm talking to Don because I didn't tap out. I got hit probably 70 times. The guy ended up, long story, he gets me in position, a crucifix I can't get out of. I get hit maybe 70 times. I don't tap. They finally stop it, you know. Wasn't really hurt. I just couldn't get out of the position. And so me and Don were talking about afterward. I was like, Don, I saw a fight one time. You wouldn't give up, man. I said it was really ballsy. This guy in Japan had Don in an arm bar. I mean, like, breaking his arm bar. And Don didn't tap. He just let him break it, and the ref jumps in and stops it. So I was wanting to know what would possess somebody to be so manly that they would let their arm break before they tap, because I would probably have to tap in that situation, even though I was real prideful. And I said, Don, what were you thinking when that guy, whatever his name was Gotti or somebody, said when he was breaking your arm in Japan, and you just let him break it, you didn't tap. And Don said, buddy, I was so high that night, even I didn't know he was breaking. That was the greatest response I'd ever heard in my life.
That is so. Is that? I remember, Sean, you used to come on before your fights and be like, "Man, I've been training, best camp I ever had. Oh my God, I'm so ready." And then you gassed out in a minute and a half, and you came back on the next day. I go, "What happened?" You're like, "I lied."
I didn't train even once.
I did 6 minutes on the treadmill. That was
over a 5-day span, 6 minutes in 5 days.
You said Tim Sylvia was the biggest dick to you in sparring, right?
He was. I mean, at first he was. Before I got to know him, yeah, he would. He liked to jump in and be the fresh guy. So you go 2 rounds, and then he'd be like, "Hey, do one more." Like, he's fresh, and I'm like, "Well, let me catch my breath." No, it'll be good for you. Push through. And I'm like, "Okay, so you're exhausted." Then he comes to beat your ass, you know, or whatever. But he didn't know how charming and cool I was at the time. So
Don,
I got him though one time. I brought in a pro boxer to spar with him, a guy that was an 8-0 pro heavyweight, and he didn't look like he would be an 8-0 pro heavyweight. And I was like, man, I don't really want to spar today. Why don't you go with him? And that ended up awesome. That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen, because that guy, he got hit once a little too hard than he thought he should have, so he started really putting it on him. You know, when a pro boxer, when you're a really good pro boxer, it's the most embarrassing thing ever to spar with somebody like that. Like, they just hit you, at least me. They hit me at will, and you can't even touch them. I can't get near them, you know, so.
Don, who was the guy that, like, sparring that would, like, that was the worst guy to spar with because he would go way too hard? Was there a guy out there?
Oh, Mitrione. Matt Mitrione by far, man. Matt, it's not even intentional. Like, you won't even be kicking. You'll just be boxing, and Matt will head kick you and knock somebody out. Like, you don't even know your guys are kicking. Like, no pads or anything. And Matt would always blame it on the NFL. Like, man, sorry. It's just how it is in the NFL. It's like, I was like, you head kick people in the NFL? Like, what do you mean? And he goes, no, it's just 100% all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, please don't knee me in my face anymore when we're grappling on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, Matt would go, he would hurt me every time we would spar or roll or anything. He'd do something out of control. But he's 110% all the time. So,
Don, is there a guy like that, Don?
Yeah, I sparred with Marco Huas one time because I went over there to get ready for a fight. And, we were sparring, obviously. And he reaches up and kicks me in the head. And I looked at him and says, "Damn, Marco, what are you doing? You're a world champion." He goes, "You are too." I went back to it. I said, "Is anybody else in here hear bells ringing?" I said, "I hear a lot of bells ringing."
Wow. Vince, was there a guy for you like that would turn it up when he shouldn't have?
Honestly, every time when I trained at Alliance, every guy I fought there, like, I've gotten phone booth fights with, like, Jeremy Stevens, Ross Pearson, Mike Chandler. Like, I've gotten phone booth fights with all those dudes. So I've been there, yeah.
yeah, Jeremy Stevens, I heard that. So, also on this card coming up, guys, we got Shogun versus Little Nog this week. Who do we like in that fight?
The old guy.
For sure.
Don, you picking Shogun or Little Nog?
I'm going to go with Shogun, man. Who's the other guy?
Nogueira.
Nogueira?
Yeah.
Holy balls. Which
Yeah. The old one.
Little Nog.
Yeah. Little Nog, damn. All right, I'm going to go Nogueira then. I didn't know he's fighting Nogueira. Jeez.
Nogueira's the little one?
Are just...
What?
He's the little one?
So
those Nogueira brothers are tougher.
Yeah.
I'm going
I'm not gonna old.
I think
I'm not
Shogun.
going to pick against Don. Whatever Don says, I'm with.
Shannon?
Shogun.
Shogun? Why?
I just think the Shogun. I mean, his movement, his lateral movement. Unless he's too old and he still can't move. But I just think that's where the key. But they're both gonna be. I mean, they're gonna punch each other in their colostomy bags. I don't know. I mean, like no, but Shogun. I think it's gonna be a Shogun. I mean, and neither one of them. But hey, you know what? I bet you they're the draw.
Yeah. Hey, Don, you recently called out Mike. Don, I remember you wanted to fight Mike Tyson on the undercard of McGregor versus
Mike Tyson
versus Mayweather. Were you serious about that?
I wanted to box him. I wanted to box him, not fight him. There's a difference in boxing and fighting. Yeah, I said I'd box him. Yeah.
Did you think that was going to go well for you?
Oh, hell no. But, how many times do people say, I went in to fight Mike Tyson, I went in to beat him? I didn't go in there just to look for a soft spot to land. That's what most of his opponents did.
Now, last week, Vince, you wanted to fight the governor of New York, Governor Newsom.
No, that's California governor.
California.
He's California.
Did you ever find Governor Newsom to fight him?
No, I'm not looking for that pud. But I was thinking about peacefully protesting his winery because it's still open, even though everything else is closed.
His winery still open?
Yeah, the guy keeps his winery open.
Oh, that's some bullshit. You can't close everything.
Dude, that guy is such a piece of shit, bro. That guy is such a piece of shit. He is literally a fucking piece of shit.
He's a stupid. He's Pelosi's nephew. You know that?
Yeah, that's how he got the job. He's also paying China $6 billion for a mask deal that no one knows about. And he's already paid them $425 million for it.
Wow.
Shit.
No one knows any details of the mask deal, but he's paying China, who I don't know why you're paying China for fucking masks when they're the ones that started this whole shit in the first fucking place. But like he's paying them money and no one knows the details of this deal.
How do you know about it then?
It's all over the internet. It's all over the fucking news. Just everyone knows about it, but no one knows the details of it.
Or maybe nobody's speaking about it.
Yeah, some of his cronies don't even know the details, or they say they don't, but who knows?
I think it'd be a good fight with you and him. I think you'd win.
You think it'd be a good fight? That wouldn't even be a fight. A fight constitute. Fuck that. A fight constitute both guys have a chance of winning. I would slap that motherfucker, make him do a backflip. Fuck that guy.
I know.
You carry him like Mayweather did.
McGregor, yeah.
McGregor, yeah. Just drag the beating out so the ref can't stop it.
All right, so also this week, Gustafsson is fighting for Doom. I I guess they're running at heavyweight, or is Verdum making 205?
It's heavyweight.
It says heavyweight.
It's heavyweight. Let me see.
I like that fight I don't know. I mean, Verdum's looked terrible his last couple fights.
Yeah.
But
I'm going Gustafsson. I'm going Gustafsson on that one.
I'm going for Gus, for sure.
Did you ever train with Gus over at Alliance?
Not actually training with him, but I've seen him train. He used to actually train with Phil Davis, who at the time was the only guy who had beat him.
Yeah.
And those two used to go at it. That was kind of a good thing. That was a fun thing to watch.
Sean, you like Gus or?
Probably, man. Just because the age thing. I think Verdum looked bad his last one. Man, I lost a bunch of money betting on him on his last one. So, that's how I always remember. I remember fights by how much money I lost on them. Or if Don Frye says how terrible you look and he's right next to you while you're the one fighting. But that's how I remember fights. Did I miss anything earlier? I'm dying to know what Don thinks about this whole Corona mask thing is actually about. Like, there's got to be – please tell me, Don, you think there's conspiracy or something behind it, right? It's not just for our health.
No, it's bullshit, brother. It's a bunch of bullshit. I don't have a fucking mask, and I never will.
Nope, that's what I said.
So what do you think the whole thing's about, Don?
What's that?
So what do you think the whole thing's about?
Oh, they're trying to get rid of Trump. They couldn't get rid of him on the bullshit Russian thing, and they couldn't get rid of him on any other scandal, so they're trying to ruin the economy. These fucking Democrats will take down the whole country, to beat Trump. That's how much they hate Trump and how much they hate America. And that's why you need to vote for Trump, because he loves USA.
Okay, so what about all the scientists? What about all the scientists that say the same shit across the world? Are they all in on it?
What are they saying?
Is Europe trying to get Trump not fired?
Yeah, because he fucking told them pay up. They've been eating for 50 years since World War II. They haven't been paying the NATO money they're supposed to. So, and he come in, we start paying money. My taxpayers are tired of it. We're carrying your ass. So they want to be carried. They're all a bunch of socialists all over the planet. We are the only country in the world where you can have a fucking gun or a bunch of guns, except for Afghanistan, because they gave 47 as like a family heirloom, so they get to keep their guns. So that'll be the only people on the planet with the guns is, Al Qaeda.
I'm buying a gun, but man, I hear what you're saying, but you gotta say that he's not the most competent motherfucker. I mean, he's just not. He's not competent. It's the people around him. It's not him.
I feel like we need Hector Lombard's thoughts on this.
Oh, come on.
It's not him. It's the people around him. It's not him. He's not competent. No.
Trump is a very competent guy. Trump is a very competent guy. He's a billionaire for a fucking reason. He's some fucked up shit.
No, he was set up to be a billionaire. If I start off with $25 million and I go bankrupt 7 times or 6 times, I'm not a good businessman. I just got a system that set me up to win. So I'm not saying that, I don't know about the mask, but he's definitely not a brilliant man.
Please don't. I hear you saying, but Vince, what were you saying?
First of all, the man never went bankrupt. Like, there's a difference between declaring there's 2 different kinds of bankruptcy, which he never completely went bankrupt. How is he a billionaire if he went bankrupt? That's not possible. And for him to turn his little bit of trust that he had,
been confirmed that he's a billionaire. He won't release his taxes to show if he's a billionaire or not.
Because that's no one's fucking business. That's no one's fucking business.
I think he should donate some of those billions to my prosecutor's business. If it is the New York State prosecutor's business, if you lose, you have to settle for $25 million in Trump University. Flat out, he had to pay that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Makes him suspect. Why would they consider he's perfect? He never does anything wrong. He knows everything.
That's not true. That's not true.
He knows everything. More than the generals, more than the fucking Congress, more than everybody. There's no way he could.
You know why he says that? You know why he says that? To make people's feelings hurt, and you bit right into it, okay?
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck either way. I'm an anarchist. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm the Joker. I want to burn this whole bitch down.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Shane, no, you don't want to burn this down, Shane.
I do. I absolutely. I think the whole system
come on, man. Those people, Antifa wants to burn this down. You can't side with those people.
Yeah,
no, Antifa. I don't want to be. I'm talking about Joker, like the Joker. Like, nothing bothers me. I could give a fuck. I mean, as long as I circle my wagons and make sure my son.
I just hate what's happening with the country right now. Like
I
honestly,
hate what's happening with the country.
Too. Everyone does.
No, I don't hate it. I'm used to it.
No, I do though. I hate the fact that like people are just. I loved it when people were saying like, proud to be an American. You know, across the board. Like there was something beautiful about that. I mean, granted,
but I have a different perspective. America doesn't mean the same thing to me as it would might you guys. America is not, to me, the smartest or the best. That's a fucking lie. It's not the smartest. We're 36th in education, and that's a fact. And the fact that America ignores facts and being a person of color, I really see that it's full of shit. So to me, this is nothing new. I'm not surprised.
No, of course, things can be made better. Okay.
No, I don't think things are going to be made better because.
But going around like what's happening in like Portland or Seattle, where you just make your own fucking country, and then kids get raped and murdered. It's like
Minnesota, Michigan, like these states that are getting
want that
down for stupid fucking reasons.
I'm telling you, I'm at a point now where I'm like, fuck it. I'm used to it. I see it from a different perspective, and I'm like, fuck it. Let it all burn down. If the system burns down, whatever way it goes, because there ain't shit I can do about it. I can try my best and yell and scream, but it's not going to work.
Shane, for the sake of you and your kids and me and my kids, you don't want everything to burn down.
No, man, it's all about perspectives, man. If you want something different, you got to take your emotions out of it. You got to think logically and have reason.
Logically. My perspective.
You have no logic right now. You're like, fuck this. Let's burn everything down. That is not logic. That's straight emotional anger. That's emotional.
No, that's not. No, that's psychology. That's psychosis. That's what the fuck that is.
Not what you are. You're emotionally angry. That's what it is.
I'm not the joker. I don't want everything to burn down. Now, I understand y'all are Trump supporters, and I get it. That's cool. But to say he's a confident man or he's fucking a literate man is fucking amazingly wrong. He's not. He can't even finish a fucking sentence. He's 71 years old and he's here. And Biden is a old buddy.
Okay, Shane, I'm going to talk. All right, Frye, what were you saying?
I said I can't finish a sentence because the guy won't talk.
Okay, what were you saying?
I didn't hear what he said either.
I can hear it.
He's a sentence. Media won't let him talk.
Oh.
You know? How do you take $1 million? You borrow $1 million and then you turn it into a $9 billion empire. How do you do that? I'll tell you what, I'll give you $1. You turn it into $9,000. How's that?
McCorkle, thoughts?
If I was going to give me that $1 and put it toward my GoFundMe campaign, I could use every dime I could get.
Yeah,
I really don't want to wear the mask though. So even if
as fighters, there's a certain point where you can't worry about the world. You're in there with one-on-one, right? And that's all you can focus on. I'm at a point now where I'm like, I can only focus on the things that's in front of me. So
I can see that.
So the world being crazy, I go, the world's been crazy. It's not new that it's crazy. So I go, all I can do is focus on what's in front of me and go forward and move forward. That's why I was joking about burning everything down and being the Joker. But I'm telling you right now, with the country, if Trump ends up being president again, ain't shit I can do. If Biden's old fuddy-duddy ass being president, ain't shit I can do other than vote, try, and keep it moving. That's it.
Of course.
Exactly. And our country, I'll admit, our country is not the best, but there's no such thing as the best country. There's no such thing. It's all about
our country is the best. Look at that house behind that guy. Look at that house he's sitting in. That's a good-looking house. Not you, but he got great-looking house.
No, I'm
house behind him.
No, I'm doing well. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the country is not the best, but it's not the worst. I accept everything. That's like, say, for instance, if you're fighting and you have,
who's better?
I'm like, if you're fighting, I'm going to use the fighting as an equation. Haven't you ever said, okay, I'm losing this fight. I got to kick some other gear in me to get to win, right? There's got to be another gear. That's how I see the world right now. I have to kick it in another gear.
Well,
but you don't think about nothing else.
Who's better? Who's better than us? What country is better than us?
I didn't say that. I think we're the best country.
Well, it seems like in handling the coronavirus.
You said we're not the best 5 times.
No, I said I think we're the best, but we're not the best in education. We're not the best in humanitarian. We're not. Canada smokes us, but Canada got a fucking bunch of problems. The entire world is full of shit. I feel like the entire world's full of shit, not just America, and it's got good and bad. Just like there's a woman that could give you good head, but she steals from you. Like, it's like, it's everything. It's good and bad.
I think, look, all I know is I think everybody wants something better, and obviously, like, there's crazy injustices, especially for, like, black people and other people. But all in all, I think everyone wants, like, the same thing, which is things to get better. You
want them to get better, but guess what, Adam? Like you said, you wanted to get better. So if I wanted to get better, I got to make it better in front of me.
Of course.
That's where my head's at. I'm not saying fuck everybody else. That's why I can disagree with somebody and still be like, well, I'm just going to keep 100%.
I mean, didn't this start with the coronavirus? Don Frye's reaction to the corona. How the fuck did we get here?
No, he said the coronavirus is the reason mask is so they could get rid of Trump. I think masks aren't for to get rid of Trump. I think that people want to get rid of Trump for whatever reason they want to get rid of him. It's they hate him.
McCorkle, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the whole problem with the country. I think the whole problem with the country really has a lot to do with Brendan Schaub's comedy.
I think that's something we can all agree on.
Yes, we all fight.
We're all in agreement there. We're all in agreement there.
John, you're a very political guy. All day long, you make these political statements on Facebook. Here I am giving you a fucking outlet to do it, and we're talking about Brendan Schaub's comedy and your GoFundMe. What do you?
I would say, man, at first I wasn't sold on Trump at all. Like I thought what kind of guy is a billionaire suddenly cares about the United States? You know what I mean? That was my thought. Like he just wants to be the star of the show. This and that. And the reason he's one of the funniest people ever lived. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but he says some funny stuff, most of the time probably unintentionally. But he always cracks me up, which that's not how you should judge a politician, obviously. But when I lined up to see, they say you can judge a man by his enemies, and when you see the Clintons lined up against him and you see like the most evil people, and it's not everybody against him's evil, but like you see some of the most, like the Clintons, the people like Pelosi, the most evil people you've ever seen, how much they hate him, I figure he's got to be doing something right. So, I don't know.
Could it be that maybe they hate him because he's an asshole?
Well, no, I mean, there are some people who hate for that, but I'm saying when you have the media as it is, you've never seen, not in my lifetime, the media across the board except Fox News line up against Trump to no matter what he says, it's wrong. Like, he doesn't wear a mask, he's evil. He does wear a mask, it's just for politics. He does this, it's wrong. No matter what, it's wrong. So, like, when I just see, like, and I'm not Republican or Democrat either way. I guess I'd be a libertarian if you had to classify me. I think the power should go back to the states. I think that the federal government should mind its own business. I don't like the IRS. I shouldn't say that publicly, but I don't like the Federal Reserve. I don't like a lot of that. But go ahead, Don. I cut you off like 5 minutes.
Right. What's that? I agree.
I cut Don off like 5 times since I'll let you
talk. Ween Dog, what are your thoughts, Ween Dog?
Listen, I think we should all.
I agree with that.
I was a hardcore Bernie Sanders supporter when he was running back in 2016, but at the same time, I didn't know jack shit about politics, socialism, or anything. And I was opposed to Trump getting elected, but when he did get elected, I started to research more about what like Republican values were. And when it comes down to it, it's just you're trying to defend the Constitution, the papers and the documents that this country was founded on. And I agree with that. I think those papers, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, is why this is the greatest country in the world. And I want to be on the side that's defending that. That's why we have the Second Amendment, the First Amendment. You can't think about your jobs as a comedian. You can't be like a comedian like you are here in Canada or in Europe because the government's going to go through your set list and make sure you're not saying anything racist or offensive. You don't have that here. You can say whatever you want on stage. And that's why I think America is the greatest. I think we should always stand behind the president no matter who he is, unless he's, doing some evil shit, But I think you should be proud to be an American, and I think you should do whatever you can to help support your country.
Shang?
I'm saying I misspoke. I'm saying I don't think we're shit, but I don't think we're the best. Let me put it that way. I think we got a lot of problems. We got to fucking fix. From my position, none of that. The Constitution's full of shit. This is also a place that said I was 3/4 of a human being. So This is still a place where if I move the wrong way, a cop is allowed to take me the fuck out, even if I didn't do nothing wrong. So this is in 2020. So my perception of America is going to be different from other people's. Where my son, I have good kids and might not do anything wrong, and he's allowed to be choked to death. So I have a different perspective on America than other people might have. And if you don't have that perspective, you'll never understand it. You'll never understand where I'm coming from. So I just think that Trump is Trump, Biden's Biden, the Republicans and the Democrats both do dirt, and that's it. They both do dirt. Democrats are dirty too. Republicans do dirt. I don't know why the Republicans act like they're perfect. They're not perfect. And the Trump is the furthest thing from perfect. He is definitely a hypocrite. You can't, wait a minute. If I walk up to you and said, can I grab your daughter's pussy? Would it be okay? No. But it's okay if he says it? That's hypocrisy. And for somebody to say that's not hypocrisy, I just go, I'm not going to bark at the moon.
You're taking that out of context.
That's hypocritical.
That comment out of context. You're taking that out of context.
It does, but the way that he absolutely did say, it's you know, you could grab a woman's pussy. Now, if you got a daughter, and
what women did he say that about? What women did he say that about? He said that about the kind of women who don't give a fuck about a guy what he looks like. All they care about is money. That's who he said that about. He said that about the skanks of the world, which is fucking true, bro. Which is fucking true.
You can grab a skank's pussy.
You just mute. Vince, you're muted. Just muted yourself.
Yes, sorry. Yes, because a fucking hoe will let you do whatever you want for money, and that's what he was talking about. He's not talking about anyone's daughter.
It's not like he said hoe. He just said they'll let you grab their pussy.
Did you listen to the whole conversation?
I listened to the whole conversation. He didn't say anything about hoes or skanks.
He was talking about groupies, which are basically the same fucking thing, right? They'll do anything.
But he never said that. He never said groupie.
Yes, he did.
Adam, did he say groupie or hoe?
He didn't say you could. Hey,
not those exact words, but those are the women.
The way that you phrased it, he went up to a guy and said, "Hey, can I grab your daughter's pussy?" That's not how he said it. He was saying, yeah, these girls will let you grab them by the pussy because you're a powerful guy. Now, should he have said that?
Probably not.
You know, but he didn't say, hey, it's okay to go and grab your daughter's pussy. So out of context. However, Shang, there's a lot worse shit that you could say he did than that quote. I mean, putting kids in cages at the border, I think should be the fucking.
But see, people think
that's fake. That's fake news. That's fake news. That's not Trump. That was Obama. That's something he inherited from the Obama administration.
Yep. Joe's right.
Okay, but they're still in there, those kids. Okay.
Well, why are they in there?
And I think he put a lot more kids there than Obama did.
Smuggle them across the border.
Who's fucking fault is
that? Let me ask you: did Trump do anything wrong? Did he do anything wrong? Everything we just said, you just said, no, it's out of context. No, it's fake news.
Well, it is. He does do things wrong.
Anything wrong? Has he handled the pandemic or fake pandemic or whatever? Has he handled it right? I'm just asking. I'm not putting my opinion into it. Just like Ben said it right. I'm not putting my emotions into it. Has he done anything wrong as a politician or as a president? Has he said anything wrong as a politician or as a president?
Don.
But yeah, he's done a lot wrong. He hasn't gotten rid of that trash left over by the Obama administration. That should have been the first thing he done. You know, I mean, he's operating with a bunch of holdovers that they're not allowing him to get rid of. You know, they won't allow him to get rid of because they keep hitting him with all this Russian shit and everything else they can try and come up on him about. You know, they're not giving him the opportunity. He's done like 358 things, you know, more than any other president has done. Even with 8 years, he did them in 3.
So that's the only thing he's done wrong is not got rid of more of Obama's people.
Listen, he's not a perfect guy. He does things wrong, right? No one's perfect.
No one's perfect.
And he's not politically correct, but you know what he does do that I respect him for? He does what he says he's going to do right by the American people. He doesn't take sides with anyone.
Correct.
He doesn't take sides with any one person. He does what's good as a whole for everyone, which is what makes everything fair. And that's what America.
But he doesn't do it for the American people.
It's the land of opportunities. Everything should be on a fair slate for everybody, and that's what he does.
Okay, do you think polls are right? Are polls right? Because if you go by polls, he doesn't do everything right for all Americans. He doesn't do everything right.
Polls are bullshit.
Polls are bullshit. Polls are controlled Polls are controlled.
Okay, so nobody's mad at him.
There's people who are mad at him.
What I'm saying is there's
the people are mad at him.
People that are mad at him that think so is everybody that said anything bad or wrong about him, are they all stupid? All of them, the generals, all of the fucking politicians, all of the people, are they all stupid? And the only thing he wants to get rid of, mainly, he wanted to get rid of Obama, is actually a Republican idea, which was built by Romney. Obamacare, which they named it, is actually the Affordable Care Act, and it was actually created by Republicans. But as soon as it was
Obamacare is bullshit, though, too.
Bad. It was a Republican. It was Romney. He's a Republican. He's a fucking Mormon conservative Republican that came up with that.
I can't help every time you guys bring up the
fraud.
Is it true? I'm saying. I'm asking. I'm not being.
Romney's a fraud.
I'm just asking. Has he? You say he hasn't done anything wrong. The only thing he did wrong is not get rid of everybody pretending to Obama. There are Republicans that don't agree with him.
Money.
A lot of Republicans don't agree with him, and I think a lot of things he does, obviously he can do a lot of things better. I
can't help but think every time you guys bring up the polls that you're going against my people in Poland. That's what I
can't. but Shane, to their defense, the polls had Hillary winning too. The night before.
By landslide.
That's why I said, is there anything he's doing? And you just answered it. So what I'm saying is, I get you. You said it. Nobody's perfect. I agree with that. Obama wasn't perfect. Bush wasn't perfect. Reagan wasn't perfect. I get it. At the same time, Trump, you know who fucks Trump over the most? Trump. If he could just shut the fuck up sometimes. If he would just shut the fuck up when he's winning, you're winning on the economy, you're winning, shut the fuck up. Don't say dumb shit. And he does say dumb shit.
And that's say dumb shit. But
I actually agree. I have to say I agree with that. Like I do wish sometimes he would just leave it alone sometimes. Like if an actor says something about him, dude, just you're the president. Leave it alone.
What are you arguing with Robert Downey Jr. for? What the fuck is wrong with
that's what I mean. Like just sometimes you should like just let certain things go. Like when a guy almost and you follow him for 15 minutes, things like that.
That's what I mean by shut the fuck up. Why are you arguing with a person that says something about you on Twitter?
I agree with that.
President.
See, I agree with you in that aspect, but him as a whole, he does what's right for everybody. He's making things an even playing field for everybody, and that's why I support him, and that's why I like him. Honestly,
he makes it an even playing field for everybody.
Yes, he's done things that have affected me. He's done things that affect me financially, but it's better for the whole, right? So I go, okay, you know what? I can't be mad, even though I am mad. It fucking hurt me a little bit, but it's helping people who are less fortunate, and it's helping them out a little bit. So I agree with it because as a whole, he's doing what's good for everyone as a whole.
Let those kids out of the cages. Return them to their families. The cages thing. Also, the whole thing with like the Kurds, abandoning the Kurds wasn't a good idea. I feel bad for the Kurdish people. There's a lot of things that I'm just like,
But no. Hey, he to say he's the greatest president of all time is just not.
No one said, who said that?
No,
none of us said that.
The people who have said that, it's not the truth. It's just not.
Top
and
five,
there's
at
a lot of people that ignore a lot of it. He's not the best.
People said the same thing about Bill Clinton, and everybody wanted to vote for Hillary because she has a vagina. She has no other reason, no other skill.
That's questionable.
No, I didn't like Hillary Clinton. I thought she was a cunt.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I did. I thought Hillary Clinton was a
agree on that.
Yeah,
so
we can all agree
you
on that.
started all this, McCorkle.
I know.
No, I really did. No.
Sadly, I knew this would happen.
Because she's a cunt doesn't mean that Trump's not an asshole.
Yeah.
He is an asshole. He is an asshole. It takes an asshole.
I don't really like Trump or Biden. Look, I don't like how divisive Trump is.
I would rather have an asshole in there to get shit done.
Yeah, but I think Trump could do a lot better as far as bringing people together. I don't like how divisive Trump is, but I don't think that Biden knows where he is right now. I mean,
Biden.
This is like Weekend at Bernie's. This is what we're doing. We're putting a guy in that has no idea where he is.
Oh, no, I agree. I agree with you 1,000%. But
what do we
somebody
do?
say that Trump should have used troops to shoot tear gas at peaceful protesters so he could take a picture with a Bible in front of a church and say that's okay.
Wait,
that wasn't okay. That was wrong.
I haven't seen protests yet. I have not seen the peaceful protests yet. This Antifa, they are burying guns. They're bringing rocks. They have.
What are you talking? I've been at protests. That's not true.
Rocks. What?
I'm not going to try to say shit bad to Mr. Frye, but that's fucking not the truth. There has been peaceful protests. I have been at them, and they were peaceful, and the cops wild out. And I have seen cops do shit, and I go, there's no reason for that. People aren't fighting you. Nobody's throwing rocks at you. It just happened. The reason people in Portland are protesting because they shot tear gas, and they shot a rubber bullet into a CNN reporter's eye, and she's blind for the rest of her life. That's why she's gonna walk away with 200.
Well, let's be honest. Portland, there's no such thing as a peaceful protest in Portland. There is no peaceful protest.
No, but there was a peaceful protest. There's video. There's video of it. There was video in D.C. Nobody was throwing rocks. There was no Antifa. That's made up shit. There was video. And for people to say, well, no, there was. No, there wasn't. There just simply wasn't.
Gang, I
have to do
both
that
sides.
to take a
Gang,
photo.
I've seen videos of cops way out of control, but I've seen a lot of videos of protests out of control. You can't say it's one or the other. You gotta admit, it is both.
Okay, but no, that's not true. There's been protesters that have been beaten and hit that didn't do anything. I saw them.
Yeah, but there have been protesters. But there's also been protesters that set stuff on fire.
No, those aren't protesters. Those are rioters, and there's a difference.
Right.
There's people that protest.
Right.
There's a difference between a rioter and a person trying to steal and loot and burn shit down, and a person that's just walking along. And there's video of it. And Ween, you can pull it up right now, where there was no reason. There was one reporter sitting on the side shooting, and the cop come up and starts banging him with the fucking the shield.
How many times did the cop tell him to move first before he did that?
You can see the video. Not once. He just literally walked up to him and starts banging him. I've
seen videos like that, and they're all cut up and taken out of context what they are. And there are videos where cops. There's videos where cops are in the wrong and they're doing shit wrong, right? And those cops get in a lot of fucking trouble for what they do. But for the most part, yes, they do. Yes, they do. But
what cops are going to
jail? Lot of videos. What do you mean? How about the cops in Georgia that shot that man justly, that fucking used their own taser against them? Those cops are facing criminal charges. There's a lot of cops that are facing criminal charges that shouldn't be over some bullshit. Right?
Finally.
Things are taken out of context.
Yeah, but Vince, like, for example, like that situation, right? The guy, you can't take a taser from a cop and think nothing's going to happen, right?
You can't fight with a cop and think nothing's going to happen.
At the same time, they shot him in the back, right? So
they did. But he shot their taser at him first and then ran.
The taser was already out. They knew the taser was out because they already shot it twice.
The only thing they could have shot him in like the leg or something where he wouldn't have died and it could have done a better job.
Cops aren't trained that way. Cops are trained to shoot to kill to save their own life.
Have you ever shot a gun at him?
Yes.
Okay. How good of a shot are you, Adam?
Not very good.
Imagine yourself under stress trying to shoot too.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything goes really out the door.
Okay, so that instance, what about the kid in Miami that was laying down with his hands in the air and they still shot him anyway?
Cops are in the wrong there. Cops are in the wrong.
But there's so many instances of cops doing shit like that. I have been pulled over and I am straight arrow, right? I have been pulled over and treated like a piece of shit and I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't drink or none of that. Hey, man, how many drinks you had? None. It's 1 a.m. I'm tired. That's it. And handcuffed me, and I had to have another comic come get me out. Carol Montgomery had to come get me out with her baby in her hand. So
why'd you get handcuffed? Why were you handcuffed and arrested?
Huh?
Why were you handcuffed and arrested for no reason? That's not a possibility.
He said public intoxication. I don't drink.
Did you fail a breathalyzer?
No. He didn't give me one.
Okay, well, that cop's in the wrong. What happened to the cop? Did you press charges? Did you file?
I tried, and I couldn't keep. They kept putting it back because it was in Houston. What I'm saying is, there's instance after instance after instance after instance where cops are doing wrong. That people aren't protesting just because they just let me go out and get tear gas. There's something wrong.
But listen, there are peaceful protests, right? And I've seen a lot of videos of peaceful protests, and I totally support that. I've also seen these fucking rioters that show up to peaceful protests and turn it into a shit show. And when they block the streets, which is illegal by the fucking way, and they're not on the sidewalk peacefully, civilly protesting, which is by law illegal for them, then it becomes a legal issue where the cops do have the force to fucking get rid of those people. And that's what you're seeing. You're not seeing cops just maliciously attacking people for the most part. It does happen, but it's there's a lot of circumstances involved, a lot of variables that happen that make the cops act the way they do. And for the most part,
no, but you're supposed to be a peace officer. You're not. The guy up in Portland, when he just starts banging him with a fucking baton, and then they tear gas him in the face, that's wrong. Period. They got it.
But he's not in a peaceful protest area though. There's violence going on in that protest.
I know, but
like, hey, disperse. Let's get things under control. Disperse. And what's the guy do? He sits there with his fucking camera. So of course, I beat his fucking ass too, man. I beat the fuck out of him. I'm not even gonna lie about that, right? If you don't listen to a cop's basic demands, by law, the cops have the authority to use whatever force necessary to fuck you off. So if you fight with cops, expect to be fucked off in that.
Oh no, I agree with you. If you fight with a cop, you're allowed to get your ass beat. But I've seen too many tapes, and I haven't seen it cut. I've seen it from beginning to end, where people have their hands in the air and the cops still roughs them up. So what I'm saying is, if the other cops know they're doing that, if you put your knee on a guy's neck, whether you think he's a criminal or not, for 8 minutes, and the other cops assist you, you're wrong.
Yeah, but nobody's
defending that. That's not okay.
I don't think anybody's defending that, Shank, for real.
Yeah,
but there are people that are saying, no, well, he had a reason. The people down in Georgia.
I haven't heard.
No one disagrees with that. No one's going to disagree with
that. What are you talking about? He raised $500,000 of people that agreed with him.
Who? The guy that killed George Floyd?
Yes.
Raised $500,000?
$500,000, yes.
He got $500,000, and I can't get more than 25 to wear a mask.
Yep. He raised $500,000, and the two guys, the McMichaels down in Georgia, that shotgunned this guy, and they said, well, he was breaking into houses, he was doing this and doing that. They got funding.
Yeah, there's a lot of idiots out there.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying everybody's bad. I'm not saying everybody in America is bad, but to say that it justify everything they do. And I see people that don't even give any leeway. Say, oh, well, you know what? He's allowed to do that. Cops sometimes just are way over the fucking line.
Sometimes
and even other cops know that.
They lose their mind. It's like pack mentality for everybody, bud. Just like
I agree.
Peaceful protests.
Tribalism.
It's pack mentality. Same thing happens with the cops, man. Same thing happens.
But if you fight a cop, I think you should get your ass kicked. But if you don't fight a cop, if you are putting your hands up in the air, if you are putting your hands behind your back, and the cop still slams a 13-year-old girl on her face, then you're wrong.
That's not okay.
There's not a person.
There's not a person alive. There's not a person alive that'll disagree with you there, right? And the cops that do that kind of shit should be reprimanded. And if they're not, you know what you need to do? We need to look up to their higher officers, because they're the ones that control that kind of shit. And if they're not letting it slide, they're trying to fight it and it's still letting slide, then you need to look at the higher up of that guy, right? Like, shit rolls downhill, but it starts at the fucking top. So
shit don't roll downhill from Trump?
No, shit does roll downhill, right? Shit does roll downhill, but a lot of shit is controlled by the higher ups, right? And Trump is trying to get rid of this stuff. Trump is the one that's actually trying to get rid of this shit. He's the one that's trying to bring peace to every. Yes.
What do you think, Shang? What do you think about the people that say that people are trying to get rid of Trump because there's a huge pedophile organization going on, and Trump's trying to end the whole sex slave thing that's going on right now?
I've seen that conspiracy theory, but I think that the only reason they're trying to get rid of Trump is his personality.
Yeah, but what do you think of the pedophiles? Joe, Ween Dog, do you think that's true?
Dude, hell yeah. Look we have a fucking pedophile island. They're already trying to kill Ghislaine Maxwell. There's like 4 people in that case that have already been freaking murked. So there's definitely some shady shit going on. There's the Wayfair shit. That's creepy. I don't know if that's 100% legit, the Wayfair thing, but there's definitely some evil underground child fucking sex ring thing going on. And I think it's all going to come to an end very soon, and I hope it does.
Now, do you think that Trump is trying to take it down?
We should kill it.
And that's why people hate Trump? You think Trump's one of the people trying to end that? That's why people are against him?
Yeah, I mean, we know people definitely don't want to be exposed, especially the Clintons. We see what happens when you try to expose the Clintons. You're not going to be here for much longer if you do. You know, so
McCorkle, what do you think about that? The whole pedophile ring.
I think, man, like 70% of the world is pedophiles. Apparently, man. Like I've had 4 teachers that I went to that taught at my high school be like since I graduated be showing me pedophiles. One of my best friends for 14 years got arrested for kiddie porn 2 years ago. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what the attraction is to kids. And no world can I imagine. Of course, I have kids, so maybe I'm more sensitive to it. But, I mean, I don't see – I don't know. I don't get it, man. I don't trust anybody. I didn't let anybody watch my kids except my parents. Like, I think 50% of the world's a pedophile, man. I don't know how 50% of the world's a singular, but, yeah, it's a mess, man. I don't know if Trump has –
Vince, do you think that Trump's trying to kick out the pedophile ring?
I think he is, and I think there's a lot of people who are fucking gonna get bit in the ass for it because they're a fucking part of it. And those are celebrities, higher up politicians, anyone with there's a lot of people with power that are a part of this pedophile fucking ring. And Trump is exposing it all, and I think that's a part of like the big reason why he's so hated by media and by the Democrats and by everybody, honestly, is because he's exposing a lot of shit. He's exposing a lot of
why did Fox just absolutely roast him to the ground? Fox is behind him. Fox just roasted him to the ground.
Because like you've said, he's not perfect. He fucks up too, right? But he does what's right as a whole. He's not a piece of shit. He's not a fucking pedophile. He's exposing all the corruption and trying to get rid of it, and that's why he's facing such a fucking.
You think Tom Hanks involved?
Yes.
That's why he shut his fucking mouth about it when someone brought it up to him. That fucking creep.
Dang, what are your thoughts about Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks tried to fucking touch me.
Did you let him?
Please tell me that's true. Is that true?
Are his hands soft?
Yeah. I was at UCLA Medical Center. And he was there at the same time, and he tried to creep into my room.
I mean, do you think that Chrissy Teigen's involved? What do you think about Chrissy Teigen? You think she's involved? Chrissy Teigen, Chang?
Oh yeah, she tried to touch me too. They all, all of them. No, honestly, no, none of them. No, I'm saying, I don't know if it's a Trump pedophile scandal. I'm telling you, and Don Frye, and I said to you, I think that people want to get rid of him, not just because of politics, the Democrat, Republican, because they think he's an asshole, and people don't like assholes. And I understand what you mean, Don. I'd rather have an asshole running shit than a person that's not. But people don't like assholes. And he says and does a lot of asshole shit. And one of their top fucking reporters, whether you believe in the media or not, absolutely crushed him Sunday. Crushed him. It wasn't even close. It was like
Brendan Schaub loves assholes, but that's a whole other story.
That was Fox News. That's Fox News.
I mean, Brendan Schaub likes buttholes. That's what I was getting at. Anyway.
But Brendan Schaub.
You know what's something? Shane, here's the thing about Fox News, right? So here's what pisses me off. So right now, Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson have the #1 show on television, right? Tucker Carlson's killing it. I go on the internet and they said, and there was another guy, Ed something, all accused of sexual harassment, right? Ed Henry. Ed Henry's being accused of rape. I don't know what Ed Henry is. I don't know. They said Tucker Carlson had a woman on who they said he tied her down to the chair and changed in front of her. What happened was this woman who came on the show, the liberal Sherpa, she was mic'd up. They said, don't move because you're mic'd. And he changed his jacket in front of her. He put on a different sport jacket. Then he said, hey, on Christmas Eve, I'm going to, it sucks. I go to this party. I can't see my kids. She took that as, I'm going to be alone in my hotel room, right? So now he's being brought into this whole sexual harassment. These people are saying and he did absolutely nothing.
Who?
Fucking Tucker Carlson. And that pisses me off because they don't like Tucker Carlson. They want to bring him down. He's the #1 show. Now they make up a fucking lawsuit about him. All this fucking fake news and bullshit gets brought up about him when he did nothing wrong. That pisses me off. If you can't beat somebody, don't smear the guy. Beat him up, beat him the fucking old-fashioned way, which is, get a better show or get better ratings. That did piss me off.
Did you see how? I think it's the New York Times has posted his family's address and the kind of attacks that he's been under.
Yeah, that's insane.
Family and shit. They're trying to do that shit again with him right now. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that pisses me off. But whatever.
But you say they go after everybody. The press goes after everybody. The press goes after like anybody that's doing anything in the media, you're gonna get shit. That's just the way it fucking is. You got to man up and fucking take it.
Yeah.
And they should. And they
Yes,
should.
man,
That's what the media is for.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not right. It's just the way it is. And again, everybody on this podcast, you cannot fucking fathom the shit that like Obama went through, that people of color go through. You can't fathom it. You can't even wrap your mind around it. When you go, and I have way more money than another person, but you can't buy this house because of your color. And that's a fact, and it's not something I'm making up. And people always think, well, you're making it up. It's been happening. It's happening now with the vote. They're trying to it's called red line districting. This was a law where, like, you can't move here. You're not allowed to move, but I have the money. You can't move here. So why would I believe a society and a government that actually allowed that to happen over and over again? Why would I believe in a government or society that actually used to have picnics and hang people and have picnics? Why would I be like, you know what? That's the people I want to ride with. Why would I think that?
Don?
As an intelligent human being.
I think that's why no one sides with the Democrats, honestly, besides idiots.
All right, Don, what were you saying?
Where did that happen? Number one, did it happen to you that you could not buy a house? Number two, where did
have I been discriminated against? Absolutely.
But did it happen where you couldn't buy a house?
What?
It happened with me with a car. With a car.
They told you can't buy this car because you're black? They told you that?
No, they found out later that's what the case. I thought it was like, oh, they just don't want to sell me the car. I'm one of those people like, fuck it, keep it moving. Keep moving forward. Then I found out, oh no, there was a whole thing for Chrysler Dodge they had to settle the lawsuit because they sent some people undercover and found out every sixth person that was of color, they wouldn't sell them it, or their interest rate was higher, way higher. So I didn't even know I was part of it. Like, they interviewed me. I said, I just thought they said no. Fuck it. I went to another place. So I'm
why do you want to Dodge anyway, though?
That's fucked up. That's not right. But yeah,
that's fucked up. It's fucked up. But it was no other reason. And the guy got caught. And then he said, yeah, that's why. He got caught. And he said, fuck it. But I'm a millionaire. What you going to do to me?
Wow.
So after I see that happens over and over again, when I see cops do this, when I see the government say this, when I see people tell me, minimize me and say, hey, that's my African American. When I see people say dumb shit like that, what am I supposed to think? Just go, oh, well, you know what? They're probably just having a bad day. No, fuck that. It's obvious. America was based in racism. It was based on racial shit.
You're saying nobody's.
I get it. I don't. But I personally keep moving.
Saying nobody's defending that. It's awful. But what I think is the way to cure racism is not to cure more racism. You know.
You say the way to cure racism is not to accuse people of racism.
It's not to have more racism.
No, I didn't. Where did I say that?
You're not saying that. But it does seem like a lot of people out there are like, hey, this is bullshit. This is racism. So, like, for example, Nick Cannon goes on and says stuff about, like, well, the Jews and the white people have less. And like, that's not the way to cure racism. It's to create.
Well, he was right on the Jews on that one, Adam.
First of all, fuck Nick Cannon.
I said he was right about the Jews.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding.
No, I agree with this. Fuck him. I mean, there's people I still think fuck him and Kanye West. Fuck him too. But at the same time, to ignore it, I'm not saying, accuse everybody of racism. I know that I don't even think about it like that. I think about it like, when I see the shit happening, I'm not going to act like, oh, it didn't happen. Right. No, that didn't exist. That wasn't the reason. A lot of times it is the reason, and you wouldn't know because it doesn't happen. You don't have it happen. So you can't, if I'm not aware of it, I'm like, well, it doesn't happen. It does happen. It don't happen to me as much because when people do act like that with me, I just go, fuck it. Keep moving.
You know what I think? I think everyone is aware of there is racism, and to be honest, racism is never going to fucking go anywhere, right? Racism we're never going to get rid of. It's always going to be around. But the best thing that we could do, honestly, is let the fucking ignorant assholes that are fucking racist fuck them, right? Like just part your ways with them. Like when you deal with that kind of shit, all you can really do is say, you know what, live your fucking life like a fucking ignorant piece of shit. I'm not gonna be a part of that, right? But when people give into it and they're trying to fight racism with more racism and hate, like it only makes it worse. It only compounds the issue, and that's what.
But that's how people are. People respond. If somebody hits you and they hit you, you hit them back. That's how people are. Like it's just a natural.
Yeah, you hit back that person. You don't hit back every single person. That's
no, but that's just like saying that. You know what? That's just like saying where I just saw it on the news. Where if a black guy rapes your daughter, you know what you think? You think it was just that black guy, or do you go, I don't know if I trust black guys around my daughter? It's just natural. You're human. That's the way it is. Fuck it. I'm saying me specifically, individually. I move forward.
Why is raping daughters the fucking?
Yeah.
Another example. Like, can we just like?
Who's got a daughter now? Goddammit.
I'm giving you extreme, but I'm saying me personally. If you talk to me personally, and the shit I've dealt with, because you've been with me when I've been in cornfields where I'm surrounded by in the middle of Wyoming or wherever the fuck we were at. I'm saying the bottom line is I still think the reason I even pertaining to fighting. My attitude is all you can do, and I don't know, you guys are fighters, and all I did was fucking PKA bullshit back in the day. And that wasn't like the shit you guys do. All you can do is keep moving forward.
Exactly. But going back, like let's say a black man commits a crime. For you to be like, okay, every black man is sus now, because that's a fucked up thought process to have right there. And that's your own fault and no one else's. So people that do that go, oh, this fucking black guy did this or a Mexican guy did this, and then now they're all fucking bad. That person is that person is now the piece of shit in my eyes, because now they're labeling everyone instead of labeling just as one bad apple, right? Yeah, you can't blame people as a whole for one piece of shit.
Right, I agree. And I personally think, and Adam, I honestly do think this way. The way I think is, it's just like with fighting. To me, it's like sometimes you got to just move forward. You got to fucking, like, I'm not saying you got to have defense, you got to have all that, but sometimes you just got to knock the dude. You got to fucking.
Exactly. But to do that, you need to take your emotions out of shit, right?
I got to get back to babysitting my kid. This is the MMA Roasted Podcast. McCorkle.
You turned it into fucking Crossfire, you bitch.
We started off.
I got to admit, I knew that was going to happen. Sorry, guys.
We didn't really cover the Bellator fights or something. But listen.
No one cares. UFC what? UFC what?
Thank you, guys. Vince, do you have a fight coming up? Anything scheduled?
Hopefully. I'm trying to fight August or September. I'm trying to fight ASAP. I don't care who it is, as long as you can kick someone's fucking ass for a pocket full of cash. That's all I care about.
Before we go, quick. Who do you think's going to win between Cormier and?
Ooh, Miocic, I think. I think he's too much. I think he's too much for Cormier, man.
Okay, Adam, this is your show, but I want to ask you because I want to see, because I think Cormier.
I think
his ass kicked.
I think Steve Bay's got him.
I think Steve Bay's got him.
I'm going with DC on this one. His last fight in the UFC, career ender, he got in on a W.
Oh, fuck, you're wrong.
I probably am. But I'm hopeful.
I like Cormier personally. I think he's cool and everything, but I'm telling you, I think Steve is he's gonna wax that ass.
Same. And I know DC personally too. He's a fucking awesome dude and a good fighter, but I think Miocic is gonna be too much for him.
You know what? It all depends. Hey, it all depends on how smart Cormier is. If Cormier tries to stand there and box with him, he's gonna lose. But if he goes back to the old Cormier and wrestles, goes back to what got him there in the first place, he'll kill anybody in there. I mean, the guy's, one of the top wrestlers in the nation. Why the hell are you trying to box?
Sean?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he should definitely not stand with Stipe. He's gonna get his ass kicked if he stands with him.
Sean?
Yeah, I say Stipe, man. I had the embarrassment of training with Stipe before when I was actually still decent at fighting, and it was humiliating. So he is really, really good, man. Really good. So.
Well, listen, thank you guys.
Hey, you gotta stay away. You don't box that guy. You fucking wrestle that guy. When you've been on the Olympic team, you wrestle everybody.
Yep.
Yep. You wrestle him to the ground and you ground and pound. You do not try to stand with a motherfucker like that. Yep. That's why I think Usman's one of the best, because Usman, when he wrestles, he's a monster.
Absolutely. Listen, you guys are awesome. Shang, awesome. I'm happy that we live in America where we can have this kind of conversation. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Don
All love,
Frye.
baby. All love, baby.
Same time next week. You guys are the best.
Peace.